John Wayne Mullins here with Mr. New Dad, and I'm going live this morning at 10 a.m. Trying a little bit different of a time. Usually I go in the evenings, but today we're going live, and we're talking about a topic that I love to talk about. But yesterday we were talking about vision, and today we're talking about those limiting beliefs that tend to hold us back. This week is Father's Day week. It's Father's Day on Sunday. I'm holding a promotion this week where I'm going live each and every day, sharing some materials and content and a little bit more about Mr. New Dad, which is a 12-week mastermind for dads. Whether you're a brand new dad, you're about to become a dad, or you've been a dad for a while. One thing that I've been learning in this season of developing Mr. New Dad and talking with dads across the country is that a lot of dads are lonely. A lot of dads need this brotherhood that I've been creating and I've been developing purposely and intentionally inside this community. But when it comes to the common challenges that dads face, I believe that the worst place for you to be is alone. And if you don't have either a brotherhood, a mentorship, or a mentor or a coach or somewhere you could feel safe enough to be able to talk about those things, you're really doing yourself a disservice. But when you do have that community, when you do have that person, or that, whether it's a coach, a friend, a mentor, anybody, you're able to go through that so much faster and quicker than if you were trying to do it on your own, because you have people who can show you your blind spots, people that are going to ask you questions that you're not asking yourself because your view is so myopic. But you have that community and you have those people that want to see you get through that. So, kind of like the old adage saying is, if you want to go far in life, go with a group. But if you want to go fast, go alone. But the thing about that is, what I have learned about going alone, eventually you're going to hit a wall where you need somebody. You need that perspective. You need people who can give you a different perspective or ask you different questions that you're not asking yourself because you don't know any better. So that's been one of the awesome things that I've been learning about leading these discussions with dads is we can ask ourselves and ask each other those questions and then have conversations about them. So this week, actually yesterday, I was talking about having SMART goals and how to develop SMART goals and why you need to develop SMART goals. If you've ever heard any sort of presentation about SMART goals, you know the value of them. You know the value of writing them down and getting accountability and talking them out and putting them on a board where you see them every day. My whiteboard's right here. But if you're anything like me, when you start to think about your goals and your visions that you want to achieve or those areas that you want to grow in, eventually you're gonna come face to face with some limiting belief that you hold about yourself, some lie that you hold about yourself, that you're not good enough, or how are you going to accomplish that, or what are you going to do when this, or how are you going to afford this, or you're not good enough to do this. What do you mean you're going to get up on stage? We all have these limiting beliefs. When I started experiencing and asking these types of questions with dads, one of the things that I've been learning is that often a lot of dads unintentionally carry their childhood or what they experience with their own father into their role as father. Oftentimes when I meet a dad and I ask them, what kind of dad do you want to be? It's a little unclear, but where they are clear about is, well, I know the type of dad I don't want to be. And that's a great starting point. But what is that dad? And who is that dad? What are those values that he carries? What are those? How does he show up? What keeps him from showing up? What are those attributes that you want to, have about your role as dad, role as husband in your own family? What are they? And if you're not asking yourself those questions, how do you know where or how you're growing? And what is getting in your way? And again, we all have different, when it comes to the role of dad today, And I think that's why there's so much confusion in today's society about the role of dad. Because we all have these limiting beliefs. We all have these different beliefs about the role of dad. And I'm not here to tell you that my way is the right way or that your way is the right way, but your way is what is your definition? And also, what does that role require of you? What are your beliefs about yourself, your role as dad, about parenting, about family dynamics, and then what are you carrying on into that role? My whole premise for having this discussion today and inside the Mr. New Dad community is, what are you carrying into your role as dad? And is that something that you are intentionally doing, or is that something you're unintentionally doing? Is that something that you're just doing because that's the way you were shown? That's the type of dad that you had, so you naturally carry that belief, that attitude, that behavior, whether it's yelling, it's cursing, it's the way that you communicate with your wife, the way that you communicate with others. What is it? And oftentimes those habits, those behaviors turn into beliefs, and that's where we operate from. And so my encouragement, and often, the homework that I give to the dads who go through this course is, let's unpack that. Let's unpack your suitcases on what your role, what your definition of dad is, and what does that mean to you? And then what are the things that you need to let go of, throw out of your suitcase because they're doing you no good and they're kind of opposite of the type of dad you want to be. But then what do you need to add to it? What are those things that you need to add to it? One step further is have this conversation with your wife. Have you ever? Most couples don't have these conversations, but the ones who do, they're clear. They know it. And so that's my encouragement. That's my hope. That's my homework for you. If you're curious about these conversations, if you're curious about what I'm learning inside the Mr. New Dad community, or if you yourself want to become a better dad or understand, what are my beliefs? What are, how and where am I getting in my way as a dad today? Am I showing up? What's getting in my way? Is it me? Is something that I believe about myself fighting against that vision that I have to be a fully present dad, loving dad today? And you very well may, but you're not going to know that until you unpack that suitcase. So if you want to unpack that suitcase, my encouragement to you is next Monday, I am starting a 12-week mastermind called Mr. New Dad. It's a 12-week mastermind group with 10 dads. And I'm only taking 10 because anything more than that can be a little bit challenging to facilitate. And, when we have time limits and commitments, and, it can, an hour can turn into 2. So I cap it at 10 guys. But if it's something that you want to, you're interested in, and you want to unpack those suitcases, like I was saying, join. I guarantee you, that's my guarantee, that you'll walk away from this course and you'll know what's in your suitcase. You'll be so clear, but then you also know what you need to add. And the cool thing about this is you get 9 other dads that you can grow alongside with and have these discussions. But then now you have 9 people that you're growing with, you have 9 new friends, and that alone is invaluable. So I thank you, and I'll put the link for the Facebook group, or the take the course. Yes. I'll put the link in the chat or in the comments for people to have. Let me see if this works. All right, there it is. And I'll put it on the LinkedIn course as well. Thanks. Remember, next Monday is the day. Sunday's Father's Day. What's in your suitcase? Take care, everybody.